Dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, and most importantly, konnichiwa. Good morning to you. This is Ken at 10. Congratulations to the Japanese getting through to the knockout stage and knocking out the Germans. What about that? How extraordinary. How are you? I hope you're well today. It's Friday. Many of you will know it's my favorite day of the week. Why is that? Well, anticipation of the weekend, of course. We love a weekend here at JA, but also it's the day when we're trying to get everybody out for viewings, making sure that if somebody's looking for a property and we've got one available, they're looking through us, not through our competitors. So we get on the ring round, big push to make sure any viewings are through us for our lovely vendors and landlords. And at the moment, it's mostly landlords because the rental market is still quite busy. You might have seen it's nuts out there, absolutely nuts. But interestingly, we've also got some good instructions, and one of them of which can't be sold to an investor because the client wants a family for their old neighbours there. I think that's lovely, you know. So we're actually turning away offers on that one because our client prefers a family and should rather get less money from a family than more money from a developer. So good for them. Apart from that, the weather here in southwest London is kind of grey and overcast. Actually quite nice for the time of year, can't complain. And we're in December already, can you believe it? Christmas has come around early this year, don't you think? So apart from that, as far as the market's concerned, there's lots of talk about, will the market fall next year? How far will it fall? The truth of it, nobody knows. Nobody can tell you the answers to these things. But one thing I do know from past experience, what happens normally with a bust is that nobody's expecting it. That's the whole nature of it, is that nobody's expecting it and then it all busts. Well, this time around, there's been a lot of anticipation, a lot of preparation for it, really. So many people are fixing their rates ahead of it to try and make sure that they are protected to some degree towards these huge interest rate rises, of which we haven't seen the last, by the way. We're expecting at least another couple of rate rises in the new year. So many people are fixed against that. But as their mortgage rates expire and the new ones come along, it can be a big shock, both to buy-to-let investors and, of course, to homeowners as well. So it's going to be a struggle, no doubt, for a year or more. But what does this mean for house prices, I hear you say? Everybody's wondering what's going to happen. Nobody knows. But what we do know is that there's a good level of equity and most people are managing to make their mortgage payments as things stand at the moment. The nature of a bust is that you need oversupply of property versus the number of people looking, so that prices have to come down so that demand comes up. And of course, at the moment, what we're experiencing is most people are deciding not to move, and therefore the supply is very limited. How does that supply increase? Well, it increases if people get repossessed, and the level of repossessions in the UK is still at historic lows, even though it's increasing a bit, as you'd expect with interest rates going up. We can expect it to go up further next year, but not significantly so, in my view, that we'll see a massive drop-off in prices. And what may happen, nobody really knows, but what may happen is that we may get to a situation where everybody realizes prices aren't really dropping. And then everybody says, oh, house prices aren't dropping. Oh, well, and then wants to get back involved because what's the alternative? Well, let me tell you, if you're looking to rent, the alternative is very expensive and very rare. It's hard both to find, secure, and get long-term accommodation right now, no matter who you are, no matter what your budget is. And of course, by buying, you circumvent that. So there are always buyers out there. And what we've noticed as the market tightens is the stock that's left available is obviously more popular. Why? Because there's not anything else to look at. So, there is that push-pull factor involved with house prices. Nobody can tell you exactly what's going to happen. But what we think is it's going to be a flat year. We're not going to see any vast rises or any vast falls come to that. And remember, when you're buying a home, you shouldn't be looking at the short term. You shouldn't be trying to time it exactly. This is not stocks and shares. You're not a day trader. This is something you're buying today with a view to a family home, probably for the next 5, 10, 15 or 20 years. And if you're doing that, then any small fluctuations in price will be more than negated by the fact that you're not having to fork out for rents and the stress of not having secure accommodation. So there's no doubt there will be a market next year, contrary to popular belief, and it remains to be seen. But I think it's over-egged, this talk of a massive bust in the property market. People just need to breathe and calm down and realize that we have full employment, tough times ahead, yes, with the fuel crisis and interest rates, but the market will continue. So thanks very much for watching. We'll be back on Monday with another edition. Till then, look after yourselves, enjoy the World Cup, and of course, if you can, your family and friends. Ciao.